Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's recent Nigeria visit signals a bold move. India is lining up with other global powers for influence in Africa regarding trade and partnerships. It faces huge competition from another Asian giant, China.
The Indians are okay,
but I will still choose China.
I would prefer China because I already see what Chinese are doing in Nigeria.
But for a change, we can try what the Indians have to offer. Let's see, draw a comparison, then make our choices.
Welcome to the flip side. The last time an Indian Prime Minister visited Nigeria was 17 years ago. And the West African country, Africa's largest economy, holds the key to India's broader bilateral interests on the continent. Building on decades of shared colonial struggle and cultural bonds, India sees Nigeria as the cornerstone of its broader African engagement strategy.
Africa has been on India's priority list since the early 1990s. Since then, there is an increase in relations between India and many African countries, but specifically those countries where India can increase its relations for oil imports.
New Delhi is offering development assistance to African countries through low-interest loans and training programs. India and Nigeria are also pushing for UN Security Council reforms. And in addition, Prime Minister Modi pushed for the African Union to be included as a G20 member. But will India's approach make an impact?
India has a much better image in Africa than China has. India has more goodwill. India has stronger historic ties with African nations. And from this angle, I would say they are underperforming because of capacity concerns.
China's strong presence in African countries remains an obstacle, but India has stepped up to actively support Africa in the face of crises.
What we saw in COVID was that India was one of the very few countries in the world that actually delivered vaccines, but also other medical goods. And we're talking about a time when many Western countries and China were only serving their own population.
So would India make for a better ally?
Every African country should try to leverage as many relations as they can.
Africa's mineral wealth is critical for India's growing electric vehicle demands. Combined with its strategic geographic position in the Indian Ocean, could make it an invaluable partner. But experts say African nations should be cautious and not place all their eggs in one basket. And that's the flip side.